With all end-time prophecies in place today, then the global spotlight, which has now been suddenly placed on the papacy of Rome, is divinely timed. This is because the next major event to occur in today's end times will be the signing of a 7-year agreement by Antichrist, being the papacy, and Israel, which will virtually start the final 7-year tribulation period. In fact, eyes are opening now to the fact that John the Revelator, who coined the term Antichrist in 90 AD, never used the term even once 5 years later in the book of Revelation in 95 AD. This is because John was given a closer look at Antichrist in the Revelation vision and saw Antichrist clarified to be a religious false prophet, the only term John ever uses throughout the book of Revelation. Even during the vision itself, it was quickly obvious to John that the two terms, Antichrist and false prophet, were synonymous and profiled one and the same man who would arise through the centuries as the greatest religious impostor of Christianity ever. Today's past history clearly confirms that only the papacy of Rome qualifies as the false prophet and Antichrist, as John originally named him. But the newly elected Pope will step into a limelight of unprecedented global fanfare as the most exalted man on earth and as foretold for today's end times, with 1.2 billion pledged followers already in place, and with the rest of the world's 6 billion people and world leaders also ready to give him unmatched favor. And even though the sudden global spotlight is now on the papacy of Rome, the spotlight will quickly also include Israel in 2013 and into 2014, since the papacy and Israel are the two key parties foretold to eventually make a firm covenant together, as Daniel chapter 9 verse 27 specifies. As emphasized many times at the site and in videos and in books, the current unprecedented negotiations between the Vatican and Israel are at least the springboard for the coming final 7-year Mideast peace agreement foretold for today's end times. The next meeting between the Vatican and Israel is already scheduled for this upcoming June of 2013, and with headline news overwhelmingly showing these historic meetings nearing completion at Heisnear.com. The newly elected Pope will most definitely have Israel and the Mideast as his priority from the onset of his papal reign, zooming this final end-time generation towards the actual mediating and signing of a 7-year Mideast agreement with the end-time Jews of Israel.